Being an athletic individual has fueled my desire to pursue a career in secondary PE teaching. I place great importance on living a healthy and active lifestyle, and so my aim in teaching is to encourage other students to recognize the benefits of being active and also develop their knowledge on the theoretical aspects of physical education. The goal is to transfer curriculum PE to extracurricular sport. I believe that this will help create a more active youth and help decrease health risks associated with being inactive. This includes obesity, diabetes, and high blood pressure. This will subsequently result in a more healthy society. In my first year of university, I gained a lot of knowledge from the human behavior in sport and exercise science module. I learnt about how each region of the brain has a particular function and that cognition is important during sporting activities, as sport is much a mental game as it is physical. I learnt about the drive theory and the inverted U theory, which shows how motivation can have an effect on your sporting performance. This module will help me when teaching students, as it provides me with a good foundation of knowledge on sports psychology to share my understanding with students. Another module is the physiology of the human body. In my first and now second year, I have learnt about the cardiovascular system, the respiratory system, metabolic pathways and adaptations of the human body towards exercise. This knowledge has or will help me to teach students, as I will be required to cover aspects of the cardiovascular system, the respiratory system, to name a few. So having this understanding will help me to articulate my thoughts, my knowledge onto the students. Biomechanics is another module which has provided me with information on the human anatomy. I have learnt about bones, bony landmarks, muscles, joints, levers, and forces in motion. The specification at GCSE and A-level includes these topics, therefore my knowledge on this subject will be useful to share with other students and also facilitate my teaching. Lastly, the food and nutrition module has helped broaden my knowledge on macronutrients like carbohydrates, proteins and fats, and the micronutrients like vitamins and minerals. My understanding of the subject will help me when teaching students about how these foods are used and stored in the body during sport. Last summer I took part in a summer sports program where I worked with children and led activities such as basketball and football. This experience will help me when having to lead a practical PE lesson, as I was required to work with children. My attributes such as teamwork and leadership skills put me at an advantage to effectively deliver lessons, as I was able to control situations along with monitoring the children's behaviour and being able to take action in case the children were misbehaving. Amongst these children were children with special needs, for example, autism, Down syndrome and ADHD. So I learnt how to be attentive to children with these needs, and I was able to adhere to their demands by altering the lesson so that it can best suit them. Developing these skills will help me if I am faced in a scenario when working with a disabled child, as now classes are mixed ability. Therefore, if I am faced in this situation, I will know what to do in order for them to be able to engage in the activities as best as they can. Additionally, I learnt about the importance of patience, which was also greatly developed during this summer sports program, as it was a vital asset which helped me when working with complex children, as patience is greatly required. The summer sports program also developed my self-management and organizational skills, as I was required to be on time every day to prepare the equipment and prepare for the day ahead. This was also greatly developed by my involvement in making lesson plans weeks prior to the lesson, in order to make sure that all the equipment that was needed was available for us. In secondary school, it is important to plan lessons as the students as the students need to have well-prepared lessons with up-to-date notes to enable good quality learning. For the practical side, it is important to prepare which equipment you are going to use and also understand the sport that you are teaching. For example, knowing how to demonstrate a layup in basketball and also understanding the rules of a basketball game to be able to give concise instructions to the students. I also have experience with work at Bishop Fitzgerald Middle School, where I worked for 2 weeks. I led practical PE lessons and observed theoretical classes such as mathematics and English. This is beneficial to have as a PE teacher, as I know how to structure lessons, for example, making sure that you have all your equipment necessary so that you can effectively deliver a lesson. After previous incidents during my time on placement, I learned that the student safety is the most important. This can be achieved by making sure that you give clear and concise instructions. For example, in trampolining, making sure that you teach them the right techniques to do a tumble, and also ensure that the less capable children aren't doing tumbles that they are not capable of doing. So it is important to be attentive to those children to avoid injury. I also developed my communication skills. Specifically, I was able to improve upon my ability to give clear and concise instructions to aid students learning on how to play a game of rounders, as I was required to lead a full lesson on my own. I also improved on my leadership skills, as I had to control a group of many students, and as an authoritative figure in the situation that I was placed in, I was able to control the students by reinforcing positive behavior and deter negative behaviors with punishments, for example, sanctions and warnings. My problem-solving skills were also improved by altering the difficulty of the game to best suit the abilities of the students that I was working with. I am also experienced with work at the physiotherapy and occupational therapy department. Here I was able to gain a lot of experience in communicating with others, as I was required to liaise with colleagues and also communicate with the patients on the wards and outpatients at their homes. Another skill I developed was teamwork, as I was required to work with other physiotherapists and occupational therapists. And also my self-management was required, as I was needed to be on time to work every day and also organize patients' files to maintain their confidentiality and keep their files up to date, which is a very important aspect when dealing with patients because of their health. All of these experiences have helped me to gain the skills required to eventually be an effective PE teacher. In order to further improve upon my skills, I will be working in the summer sports program again to gain more experience in teaching.